I am not against technology. How could you be against technology? I'm glad we have a lot of modern inventions, but it's a matter of balance. It's a matter of balance. We should, as much as we love our technologies, should love things that involve our direct experience of the world, right? We should always remember that that's where we all started, you know, not with iPods, but just with each other and nature around us. We have to remember that, and we have to remember that there are limits to our ability to control things or master things. We really have to understand there really are limits, so we have to hold back from doing everything we think we can do, because if we don't, I think we're going to end up in real trouble. There's this guy in, I think, Penn State, I forget the name of the institute, he's an astrophysicist, and he commandeered some space telescope, an infrared space telescope, and he looked at, the premise of this is he's looking for signs of intelligent life, and he assumed with billions of years of evolution and hundreds of thousands of galaxies, there ought to have been at least one civilization that was able to sort of seed a good chunk of the entire galaxy that the civilization emanated from. And this high-tech society would leave something called heat waste. I'm not a scientist, but these infrared scopes would be able to tell if there was an unusually high amount of infrared light. And that would be an indirect indication that there's actually intelligent life, super intelligent life in another galaxy. Well, the guy scanned, this team scanned 100,000 galaxies, each one with about 100 million or 500 million or billion stars. So anyway, huge number of potential sources of civilizations of the kind he was looking for. And of course he found nothing, right? Which always upsets people when they're, you know, obviously in this case. But maybe the case is, maybe it's just not in the cards for, you know, for highly technological societies to make it past a certain point. Maybe by definition they're going to implode, you know, for the reasons I've just been saying, that when you get too big, you're going to indirectly cause the demise of your own society, because something will go wrong, and when it goes wrong at that scale, it really goes wrong. So I kind of use it as a little object lesson, and maybe, you know, that overall our society is, again, it's not as if it's not as if the essence of what we're doing is wrong. It's the fact that we're doing it without any sense of limit that is the real problem. So I'd say use technology, but use it wisely, you know, use it wisely. And if everyone did, you know, if people were, as I say in my book, I kind of go over the top. I say we should be atheists of technology. And if everyone were an atheist of technology, the way I argue, then we'd live in a very different world. I think we'd live in a really different world. We'd have different expectations about what's possible. We'd still live comfortable, we would lead comfortable lives, I think, I'm sure. But I think it would be a richer world in a way, you know, not materially richer necessarily, but richer in terms of, you know, just personal relations and our connection with the natural world and so forth. I think it would be, you know, a more engaging kind of existence. Because I think, I know it's cliche now to say this, but I think it's true. Smart technologies are breeding dumb people, right? We're relying more and more on our machines to do our thinking for us and our acting for us. And where does it all end, right? I mean, I think that's the question. If every generation goes further down that road, we become redundant. Human beings become superfluous in a way. We're already talking about, you know, driverless cars. We're probably halfway there now, because all these onboard systems do a lot of the driving for you. But eventually, I think it's a metaphor for what's happening to us in general, right? We're going to have a society where human beings are largely redundant. And what do we do with ourselves, you know, after that fact? We would certainly have to find a new role for ourselves if most of what occupied our time and energy is no longer is done by our machines in various ways. So, you know, I used to be like a lot of people when I was a kid, really excited about the future. I could hardly wait until tomorrow, for 50 years from now, whatever, see what the world's like. I'm not so sure anymore I am, I mean, I don't know if I'd want to know where we'll be a few hundred years from now. I don't know. And I think a lot of people feel that way, at least of a certain generation, They're kind of, again, mildly anxious about the overall shape of things to come. And I think rightfully so. I don't think it's just being overly negative. I think they see the current path, and they're a little perturbed by the direction we're going.